Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the American Masterminds podcast. I'm your host tonight, Topher Sheila. I'm joined by my co-host, the one and only Mr. Rob Adams.
What up, what up?
We have one heck of a show for you here tonight. We have Morris Kunz on. Rob, why don't you tell us a little bit more about Morris?
No, man, you guys grab your water, get comfortable. We're going to do a meditation here. There's going to be some powerful lessons to be learned along the way. I want you to think about your journey, male or female, where you are, what your limitations are, and listen to what the message that Morris has to present, because he's offering some advice, some golden nuggets that perhaps are very timely in our world right now. So sit back and enjoy.
This is a powerful episode, everybody. Sit back, relax. We'll grab a quick word from the sponsor, and we'll jump right in.
Welcome to the American Masterminds podcast.
If someone is thinking about buying or selling real estate, I always recommend they hire the best agent for the job.
Not all agents have the same skill, dedication, and commitment to results.
And there are a lot of moving parts in real estate, and a lot of things could go wrong.
Having the right team is critical to having a successful transaction.
My team and I provide exceptional customer service for our clients that is second to none.
We only ask that you give us the opportunity to sit down with you and ask you about your goals and interview for the job.
If you don't use me as your agent, I will never be upset. I'm just grateful for the opportunity to interview for the job.
Please reach out so we may share with you what we do to obtain excellent results for our clientele.
Morris, I was thinking back, and this is something that's getting to be more and more of a thing for me, where I think, how did I meet that guy? How did I meet that girl? Do you remember how we met?
Yeah. Through me being a lender and you working at Keller Williams.
That's right.
I started coming out to South Valley and poking around, and I'm like, who are the cool guys and the rock stars? And so I'm like, and then I think I came to an event that you put on, a training event or something at the space in Keller Williams. And I was like, yeah, he's cool. He's got some good stuff. So then I started approaching you guys about doing some business.
Yeah. Yeah, the thing that's interesting about the real estate business and the ancillaries, or the mortgage companies and title companies and all these different businesses that coming together, it's a weird mix where you think, you know, how do I know that person? I know you were in lending. I remember who you were with, and I remember that conversation. The thing that I don't remember was you ever I don't like being sold anything, Morris. I don't like, if I have any of those people come to me and they're like in my office being nice to me with the idea that they're winning my business, it's the biggest turnoff for me, that I'm just like, you know what? But I've never felt that way with you. I always felt as though you were authentically kind to me, and you were a friend of mine before we ever thought about doing business together. And so I appreciate that in you.
Thank you.
Yeah. It's a, oh my goodness, 3 deep cleansing breaths.
Rookie mistake. Good grief.
So I just wanted to say that I appreciate that. And I think that your authentic approach to me is your authentic approach to life. It seems to me like how you do something is how you do everything.
Yeah.
And everyone that I know that knows you, and we've been to several parties together, and I could always be like, yeah, I'm with Morris. And they're like, oh, then you're in. You're good. You're welcome. Welcome. And so I appreciate that, that kind of a legacy that you have around you. What do you say is the key contributor to kind of creating that in your life?
My agenda always, for as long as I can remember, is to become more sovereign and peaceful, meaning living by my own rules. And one of the things I like in life more than anything is connecting with great people and having good conversation. And I also don't like to be sold anything, and I don't like finding out that somebody is being nice to me just because they want something. And so one of the things that I found over time is the more authentic we can be with each other, then the better time we have. And also it becomes more natural if we do business or whatever together. And so it's nice that we have the business space that we can do that and meet great people and then maybe do some business together as well.
Yeah.
So I've always enjoyed doing business with the people that I like to be around.
I always tell people that's my only health benefit, being self-employed in the space that I'm in. The only health benefit that I have is who I let into my world. And that's it. And I've been in the real estate long enough now that includes clients. Mm-hmm. Where when you're first in real estate, man, anyone who has a pulse and a good credit score is an opportunity for me to do business. Where now I'm just like, I don't know if we're a good fit, and it's okay. Yeah. It's okay. I'm not mad about that, and I love that. If I look back upon our relationship, I can't think of a time where you and I haven't had a deep conversation. You go deep immediately, and Topher is very similar that way. Like we don't talk about sports and that's fine. Yeah. But this podcast is a good example. We started out as a podcast around motorcycles, and that lasted maybe three episodes before we're like, okay, now let's talk about something that matters.
Only describe how the wind feels in your lack of hair so many times.
Yeah. Indian, no Harley, no Indian. All right. Next podcast. Next. And so, but I appreciate that about Topher. And as we do these podcasts, it's the one thing that I think has been a consistent is that we talk about things that matter. Yeah. And in your journey, as you're coming into self-discovery and self-improvement and the mindset and all the stuff that you've been learning about, you've kind of gotten into a position now where you're doing a little bit of coaching and you're doing your own events. Can you tell me about that?
Yes. So I've had 30 years of deep spiritual transformational experience. It was a little over 30 years ago. I had my first weekend workshop. It was amazing, right? It was life-changing. In fact, still when I look back on my life, I'm like, man, that was one of the funnest, most amazing times I've ever had.
What was it? Tell us about it.
It was called The Awakening.
Oh.
And now the owner of that organization is one of my good friends. And so I get the benefit of every time we go to lunch or whatever, having more deep conversation, right? And learning more about the self. And so, for many years, I wanted to do something, but I kind of had imposter syndrome, right? I was like, yeah, but who in the hell am I to talk to people and do coaching and stuff like that? And so it took me quite a while to get out of my way. But whenever I had the opportunity to speak at one of my buddies' events or other people would invite me or do a podcast or something, I would be like, let's go. Because I enjoy it. And so I've done events off and on for several years, and then I took a break during COVID. And about 2 years ago, I got a new girlfriend, and she said she had followed me on Facebook for a long time before we ever met in person. And when we would get together, we would have conversations about all of this, and she'd just eaten it up. She's loving it. She's like, I love it. She's like, I thought I was deep. I thought I was spiritual, but man. But then she was like, but I'm disappointed that you're not doing anything with it. And I'm like, I kind of am too. And so she started giving me some big nudges, and I'm like, oh, well, maybe. And so finally one day she came back and she said, I rented a space for you to do your first event. And
it's on the 15th. Get to work, son.
Yeah,
like that.
Exactly. Wow. And it was great. I was like, I was so nervous and stuff. And I'm like, because I'd always done most of the stuff in the past, I would do other people's material. And so I really had to dig in and be like, all right, what do I want to create here?
What's my message?
Yeah. And so I went into the relationship space and did a relationship event. And I think I had 14, 15 people there for that event. And it just lit me up. I was like, oh my God, that was so fun, right? And some of my really good friends came to that to support me. And I was like, yeah, that was amazing. And so I just started doing it every 2, 3, 4 weeks. And then I kind of got settled in on what I called the open heart intention circles. And we would go over to Synchronicities and do this in the Salt Cave over there. And if you've never been to the Salt Cave over there, you gotta go. This place is just ridiculous. Yeah. You walk in and you're just like, oh yeah.
It's amazing the difference you feel in that room. Mm-hmm. And I try to think it's like a placebo effect. Like I'm a diehard skeptic of all my faiths. Skeptic is at the top of the list. But you sit in that room and you can't help but just be like, I feel really calm, and you can breathe.
Yeah, it's magic.
Where is it?
I'll take you one time. It's right across from Ying's.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So many years ago, I had this. I watched a Greg Braden video. You know what Greg Braden is?
Nope.
He has a book called The Divine Matrix. And once you see him and all of his hair, you'll probably know who he is if you've been in the spiritual space long enough. Anyway, he had this video where he was talking about, all the spiritual stuff, and he got into natural healing, and he told the story of this woman who developed a bladder tumor, 3-inch in diameter. And Western medicine basically said, if we don't operate on that, you're going to die. And if we operate on that, you're going to die. And she didn't like those odds, so she went on a journey.
It's a 50-50 chance for crappy.
Yeah.
Right. And so she ended up in Beijing, China, and she found this medicineless hospital where they taught her a whole new lifestyle, breathing, energy, intention, all of that kind of stuff. And then they have a video clip where it's ultrasound, and they took a picture of the tumor on her bladder, about this big, and then on the other side of the screen was live video. And after she had been there for a little while, learned new ways, then they put her in this room, and they had 3 practitioners come in, and they decided on a word that meant she is already healed. And then they chanted this word into this woman for 2 minutes and 40 seconds. And on the screen, you can watch the tumor just slowly shrink down. And by 2 minutes and 40 seconds, it was gone.
No way.
And when I saw that, I was like, holy shit. Because I was always open to that kind of stuff, right? And that just blew my mind. And then I was like, wait, what if a whole shitload of people could do that? What would happen? And so I started experimenting with that. And the very first one I ever did, my friend was doing a moon show, and I asked her if I could do that. And she said, well, yeah, maybe. What is it? Send me. And I'm like, I don't have anything I can send you. I just know that this is going to be super cool. So we put the event together, had 55 people show up to this event. It was the biggest moon show she had ever had. And so we were doing one person in the center at a time, and I would have them pick a word that meant whatever they wanted, a new car, a new relationship, money, whatever. And then the whole group in unison would chant this word into them. And as you can imagine, doing one person at a time, it took a while. I let them be in the center for 68 seconds, which Esther Hicks says 17 seconds is enough to create momentum from thought into the physical. But when you do it 4 times as long, 68 seconds, it's exponential. Mm-hmm. So everyone got 68 seconds in the circle, and it was super powerful. We were like 3 hours later than the normal moon show, and everybody was so high, right? Nobody wanted to leave, and it was like after midnight, and everybody just wanted to stay and hang out. And then I started getting the stories back about what was happening for people. In fact, one of my friends, the next day in my Facebook group, he said, hey, I was doing this intention on my job, and I've never put anything out, but I had a headhunter reach out to me today. Somebody had told him about me, and it's for the exact job that I've wanted to do to expand my skill set and become more.
And that was his word?
There's something around career or money or something like that,
wow.
Right? And so then he ended up doing an interview, and they gave him more money than he thought, and he got a $10,000 signing bonus.
Wow.
His dream job, right? One of my good friends, a couple later, she had her kidneys healed. It was really sweet. I think we had 35 of us, and she just said, everyone, please be silent. Send me love, and whoever can touch my kidneys, put your hands on my kidneys. And it was one of the most beautiful moments I had ever seen in any workshop. It was like there wasn't a dry eye. Everybody was just like in tears, putting intention into her. And a week later, she went in for her checkup, and her doctor about fell out of her chair. She's like, what did you do? She's like, your kidneys are like brand new, like those of a child. And so when Simone ended up getting me back into the groove of doing this, I called Debbie. I said, Debbie, remember? I'm like, do you think that was the thing that really, she's like, hell yes. She's like, I have other health conditions now, but that was the moment for my kidneys.
Wow.
So that's kind of what got me spurred on again. And so I love doing that event because it's a ton of fun for me. Everybody gets really high and we see some really cool stuff happen. But it's putting on an event, it's a lot of work. And I'm like, I just don't know if I can do that more than once a month. And I've always wanted to do coaching. So I recently, about a year and a half ago, around that same time, I started doing a group coaching, co-ed, and it was around relationships. But now I'm getting really deep with those groups of people. But I also started a men's group about 3 months ago, and I'm having such a blast with that because I've always wanted to work with men.
I think it takes me back to when we went. I had that men's retreat in St. George, and you were a part of that. And that was I think about that event still a lot. From what you said, I remember what you said. I remember exactly what you talked about. Yeah, and your experiences in that space. And there was Grant and Sergio and Dave, and there was just a few of us down there in that space. And I remember what every single person talked about. Like, I think that's powerful. So good job.
Thank you. Yeah, that was a great event. That was so fun. Like, us dudes don't get enough dude time, right? We're always caught up in everything and family and man, it's so great when you get a group of dudes who know how to go deep and want to have some good conversations about the sustenance
stuff that matters.
Yeah.
On mine, we did I don't know if you knew this, Topher. I don't know if you've ever done this with me, but I'll have every guy you've got like 45 minutes to present or 30 minutes to present, and then everybody can rebut or pitch in or share for 15.
Oh.
And so you can pick anything you want to talk about for half an hour. We can decide what it is. And it's interesting. Yours was the Yono Pono Ono. I always get it wrong.
The Ho'oponopono.
Yeah. I always get that wrong. Yoko Ono.
Close enough.
And it talks about, forgive me, I love you. Tell me what it means.
I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you.
And you're saying that over and over again when you're in this space. And he's talking about his relationship with his son and different things that were happening in your life and how you were using this energy. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. And I love you again and again, so that your head would be in the right spot to receive that, rather than going into the space and thinking about, this guy's a jerk, or I hate her when she does that. It was powerful, and how it was changing your family and your life. And then he stopped, and then we could all ask questions, and not even a rebut, just like, so how'd that work, and what did it mean? And it was really good. And so everybody has a chance to stand in power, stand in authority. They get a little bit of significance. But the thing that's interesting about when I did it was I spent a lot of time thinking about, what can I bring to this group of dudes? Like, it really, then you start to refine your thoughts. Like, where am I spending my space? What am I doing? How am I growing? What am I learning about right now? It was so good. I've done that a couple times. And then we've had other men's group where we just get together and eat tri-tip and throw a frisbee, just like relax. And so but I think men time is overlooked and necessary still.
Yeah. See how it is, Rob. I get the ones where we just eat tri-tip and whatnot. I don't get the stage for 30 minutes. I see what you're trying to do. That's fine. That's cool.
I actually wanted to hear what he had to say for half an hour.
Oh, really? There it is. Yeah, appreciate
it. Oh, that's good. Yeah, that's awesome. I love that. So what's your intention with the men's group?
Well, I love to solve problems. And so my focus right now is married men between 40 and 55, the men that are struggling in their relationship, because obviously throughout our country and many parts of the world, we've had kind of some shifts in the masculine feminine space where men have been
bastardized.
Yeah, we've seen a massive shift in masculinity in men, and women are having to carry the torch in a lot of aspects. In fact, in 2016, I got to go see David Data in Colorado.
Oh, I love his book.
Yeah, it's amazing. And one of the things he said there was, women are becoming better men than men are. And
they don't want to.
No,
that's
they don't.
The thing, right?
Yeah.
Sorry to jump in. Go ahead.
No, I think there are a few women that do like that, but most women don't. They do it out of necessity and trying to keep themselves safe.
Yep.
And one of the things that we're seeing more and more is the nice guy can be the most dangerous guy to a woman, because he doesn't ever make his intentions known. He's a chameleon. He says what he needs to say in order to get his love and get his connection. And then he might be the first person to bail on this woman if things get tough. And so what I'm focusing on, what my intention is to share with men and show them what it looks like to take their power back and become the leader again and take charge of their lives and their family, and show them how much more attractive they become to their wife and all people in reality. Because when we're going through life and we're not being our masculine self, our authentic self, then we're not that attractive to anybody in the world, really.
Have you read No More Mr. Nice Guy?
I have not, but I've had so many people tell me about that book.
You need to read that book.
Yeah. Okay.
We did a men's group on this very thing. And it talks about what happens to the nice guy, how it creates resentment in the relationship, how it creates covert contracts and all of these unexpected, unknown, unspoken agreements that create a rift, a distance between you and everybody, not just your girl, your partner, whatever you want to call it, but it just is. Yeah. It is a terrible way to go. I got it for a kid on my team that I thought is as vanilla as could be. Like, this kid needs to read it. And I read the cover and I'm like, I'm going to check this out. And I read it. I'm like, holy shit, this was for me.
Yeah.
And it was interesting. I think this is an epidemic problem, what you're talking about.
Yeah, it is epidemic. And I have firsthand awareness of that too. I've been through my versions of the nice guy because, you know, mom and grandma and our aunts and everybody was telling us be nice guys. And this was after the, women's lib came out and the sexual revolution and all that kind of stuff. And by the way, I was watching a guy that was talking about powerful countries over and over again, civilizations that once they got to the place of free sex and love, that was the downfall of their countries, their civilization. And so we as a country are going through that right now. And I think we can all agree that we have a lot of shit going on right now that we don't like.
Yeah.
And so I'm glad that we are getting this much awareness right now into our civilizations and the people around, so that we can start to share this and hopefully get this changed around, because we have a lot against us right now, a lot of conditioning, right? And so in my own experience, like as I've had my healing journey and my growing journey, I look back and I'm like, oh my God, I was terrible, right? It's like I made a lot of mistakes. I probably made all of them. But it's nice now to know what I need to do in order to shift. And that's taking a damn good look in the mirror. And it ain't easy.
No, that sounds like work to me, my friend.
Yeah.
When you're spending time with these men's group, where are you finding the biggest blind spot in their life?
Well, obviously us men are taught not to really feel, right? And even though we are much more physical and visual than women are, we are conditioned for the physical on the outside of us, and men just do not occupy their bodies. Amen. Right? Yeah. Everything is out here. All the pleasure, all the money, all the work, everything a man has been conditioned for is out here, and we forget about
even all the answers for what I'm looking for is external.
Yeah.
So it's everything, right? I love what you're saying. Please continue.
Yeah. So that's my biggest focus, is helping them feel what's happening, get back in their bodies through breath and other exercises, and teach them about the mirror. Because in my space, in my mind, everything is the mirror. And I don't let anything go unquestioned in my world. Why did that show up? Everything is, I'm in the going inside to look and see what that meant and what it was there, especially if it's something triggering. Because my mentor used to always say to me, if there's shit in the space, you put it there.
Well, man, you just like rattled off enough for 3 podcasts, my friend. Like, that's a lot of information. Let's back it up a little bit. And how are you teaching them to feel?
Well, I do some processes with them where they get to introspect into what's not working in the world and what is working, right? And then I just have them go in and start to feel what that's like, because we certainly want them to feel the joy and get the reward, because we, as men, we often brush right over joy and happiness, right? Get back to work. Let's go conquer. Let's go
Stay focused.
Save another day.
Yeah.
Right. And when I can get them to really introspect about the things that aren't working in their world, then I get them in touch with how that feels. And then I get them to do some exercises where they can breathe through it, or do more deeper inquiry where they can see, okay, where did that happen, and where is that showing up in my world, not just in this situation. Because like you said, how we do one thing is generally how we do everything. And so, unfortunately, it's generally the negative feelings that they feel first, but those are the biggest clues to what's happening in our world, is the things that aren't working. And I think it's designed that way so that our purpose or our mission can get our attention to say, hey, you're off track. And that's exactly why we experience the pain and the triggers around things, is our soul going, hey, pay attention right here. And so I look at it like it's not a bad thing.
No.
Right? It's
a necessary thing.
Yeah.
I think because of that is why men face addiction at such a high level right now, because they can't feel their feelings. And so rather than that, what do I do to release or block, deaden, ignore? And that to me is the definition of addiction, where you're doing something, you have to do it all the time because you don't like how you feel, or I need to check out, I need a beer, or smoke some weed, or whatever that is.
Yeah.
And people will say some of these things aren't addictive, but if it's your behavior that you're trying to escape, then the addiction's there, regardless of what your opinion is about it.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, it might not be an addiction, but it's certainly a crutch.
Okay.
Yeah.
Could be a crutch. I was in this group for a while, and it was predominantly women. It seems to me like when I'm getting into these groups more often than not, that I end up being the only dude still there. Like I'm the reference to masculine energy.
It's an accident.
Yeah.
Right, Rob?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if I'm going to be in a room,
Rob will be there.
if I'm going to be in a room full of people, the ones that smell good are my favorite ones.
Yeah.
Let's not pretend.
Yeah. No, nobody's pretending here.
But at the beginning of the meeting, they would be like, okay, how do you feel spiritually on a scale of 1 to 10? 10 being you're feeling your feelings and you've got a lot of emotion around that. And then your spiritualism, your physical body, your emotional body, all of these different things. There was like 7 things. And the first couple times I'm like 10. And I'm like, shit, this is terrible. But then I found out that this group was like, no, that's good. Like, that's where you're supposed to be. I'm in this space of feeling. I'm like, that is incredibly inconvenient. Just so you know, like feeling my feelings all the time.
Yeah.
It just gets in the way of my being able to do anything really.
Yeah.
And so I've really had to work on that understanding the necessity of feeling those feelings. And it's not always nice.
Yeah.
Can I interject with a question?
Sure.
For the demographic age group that I'm curious about, who are you predominantly reaching with this?
Right now, my focus is 40 to 55.
That makes sense.
Married men.
Sorry.
But right now in my men's group, I have 2 younger single guys that showed up. And so it's not, I package things as relationship, but truly it's all about the relationship with self.
Right. That's the one.
Yeah.
If that's not healthy, nothing is.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. All right. So then in this, in my group, they spend a lot of time like, where do you feel it? Why do you feel it? Like putting some awareness around it, which I thought was pretty good because I had never considered. I feel mad. Well, why? Where? Where do you feel? Everywhere. Stabby. It's a stabby feeling.
Yeah. Punching bag time.
Yeah.
That's
But building awareness around it was really good. The second thing that you said that you did is help them understand. Remind me, there was 3 things that you did. You helped them feel their feelings. You helped them go back to that. Would you
get into their body?
Get into their body. That's where I was going. How do you do that with the breath work?
With breath work, but I also do stuff where like I have a process that I do with them where try this, guys. Put your hands down here and near your root, just below your solar plexus. And what do you feel when you put your hands there?
A double bacon sandwich.
There it is. Yeah.
It's delicious. No,
that's awesome. It's down here.
My breath. I feel my breath.
Yeah. So down here is more of our grounded center, and this is usually when we get fear or confrontation and stuff like that. See, this is where we want to be occupying our body most of the time. But when we check out, this is the first place that we leave right here. So we leave this empty a lot. Okay. So put your hands up on your heart. Can you see that it's a different experience? Can you feel your body differently? Because that's accessing more of our heart. And they tell us this is where we should lead from. So a lot of the light and love and spirituality tells us that we should occupy here. This is the most important to occupy. And it's not a bad place to be, but if we only occupy our heart, then we're missing part of the boat, right? And I want to come back to that in a minute. But then put your hands right here. This is more like who I am. Can you feel that? This is more who I am at a deeper level. It's where our spark lives. It's where our desire to create and go out and conquer the world. That's where this resides. It's like, this is me, the real me that resides right here. And so I do a process with them where I have them put a hand here, and then I have them imagine being that they have maybe a quarter-sized light start in there. And in this, I give them a word, a mantra, and I have them come up with a word that is really empowering for them, like freedom or love or whatever they choose. And then I have them expand that light and go through and feel their whole body from the inside, not the outside, and not looking, right? Because when people say go in your body, we tend to look with our brain, even though we're not looking visually, we tend to look in there with our brain. But no, go in and feel the whole body from the tips of your toes all the way up to your head and out to your fingers. And expand that light through there and be checking all of the spots on your body. Where do you feel tension or soreness or whatever? And then as they're expanding that, then I have them bring their word in that and then feel that word in their body as if they're being empowered inside of all that light and expansion. And that's really great for getting people into their body and also feeling their body and noticing what's happening in our body. Because how many times do we, as men, sit down and be like, oh, I'm going to go inside my body and I'm going to feel what's happening in there? And
never.
We just don't.
Check the math. Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Never,
and so we have a lot of subtle pains in our body that we don't become aware of until we're going to the doctor. Right? Like, the more I get aware of my body, the more I can feel my liver, my stomach, my spleen, my intestines, and head. When sometimes I feel stress in my brain now because I've been practicing enough that I can be aware, whereas before I might just be like, I just feel off. I don't know what it is. Now I can go in and I can check and see. So I get really aware of my body and what's happening in my body, because if it's left unattended, it turns into things we generally don't like.
Dis-ease.
Yes.
That's what that is.
Yeah.
Interesting. I love that.
Yeah.
You know, I'm always amazed at how much this language is so universal. Like, this is in my journey of discovery and learning. Like, when you say that's like, well, no kidding. That's how it should be. That's how we should be feeling and knowing. I am nowhere near in any space that I could check in and feel any part of my body. There's been times where I've been injured, or when I was a police officer, once I smashed my hand in the door. Did I ever tell you that story?
No.
Smashed one of my fingers in the door, these big old 300-pound metal sliding doors, and I had a receiver. I caught my finger in there, and it just split my finger right open. And we just boogied on down to do the backup call, and there's blood everywhere. And I'm like, someone's bleeding. This is a lot. There's blood everywhere. It's like, on me. I'm looking at it, and then I realize it's like, this is going on, and I'm like, that's insane that I don't have that much presence to feel that. But I was in the moment, running to do a backup call, and I think that that's kind of how I always am. I feel like I'm always probably running to do a backup call, even in my heart, even today. And it's unnecessary, that feeling of emergency.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So the thing I'm working on a lot lately, and maybe I could ask you this, Coach, is how do I create safety in my own space? Because I'm not running from the saber-toothed tiger anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm sure you learn from your wife quite a bit about nervous system.
I don't learn anything from her.
Yeah.
Ever. If you're listening, Annie, I'm just kidding.
So, obviously this is all regulated in the nervous system. And so we have to do things that will relax the nervous system. And breath work is great for that. In fact, probably one of the best things for relaxing that, to feel safe. But the other thing too is being more aware of your body, right? Like when you start to feel like, I normally feel in my gut. That's where I feel my tension. And then if it's really bad, then I'll get it up here into my chest. But anytime I notice that my stomach is clenched, my abdomen, then I'm like, what's going on? I mean, that's a great indicator. And I'm glad that it's so loud when it is, because it gets me to be like, okay, what am I worried about? What am I running from right now?
It's like the lights on the dashboard, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
There's a problem here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I said I wanted to come back to this, and spirituality, I think, was hijacked at a certain point where it became light and love, all light and love. And you still see this, and it's not that people are bad and wrong, but light and love is only a fraction of the true inner work that we can do. I mean, it feels great, right? And you do meditations and stuff like that, and a lot of times we get in this really high space. But when people talk about spirituality, where do they normally go? Like,
yeah,
they're out here somewhere, right? True spirituality is occupying your body deeper and deeper and deeper. And the more that we can occupy, be present in our body, then the more capacity we have to show up in life in a more powerful, attractive, magnetic way, and be more authentic, because there's a lot that hides in our body, right? And in the light and love communities, and I'm not making them wrong, because it is great, right? And you can make some movement in those spaces. However, you hear a lot of people talk about bypassing. You can't light and love yourself through the darkness, because we all have the darkness. And being able to look at what they call the shadow self, Carl Jung did a ton of work on the shadow, and I think that's where the original quote comes from, of doing shadow work. And it wasn't about overriding. It was like really taking a deep look in the mirror, and how do I get through this? And my favorite quote in the world is "Know thyself." And so we have to get epic at knowing ourselves in a way where we can be like, I didn't like how I showed up in that situation. So what was happening? And not just was I in a bad mood, but what's happening? Like what's running the show here? Because neuroscience says that 95% of the time we are being run by our unconsciousness.
Autoplay.
Yeah. And so if we're not good at uncovering what's really happening underneath the surface, we will keep repeating that over and over and over again. And you can't light and love your way through that. We have to become aware of why we are doing that. And we've all done enough work that we know that that generally comes within the first 7 years of our life, because that's when we are in theta brainwave almost constantly. And when we're in theta, that's when our brain takes everything as law. And that's where we get conditioned. And that's where we usually have traumatic experiences, even though other people around us might not see it as a traumatic experience. Just looking around and not seeing your mom when you're in a crowd is traumatic for a child, right?
That's interesting.
Yeah, so if we're not willing to look in the mirror and peel the covers back on what's running us, we won't make much change.
I had a guru for a while that he spent a lot of time with me because I was raised in a very black and white world, good or bad. There's nothing in the middle. There was just either evil or glory. You know what I mean? Yeah. There was, and the thing that he spent a lot of time with me is like, Rob, you have to love all the parts of you. in order to really love the parts of you that you love, because we're all the things, right? We're generous and loving and kind, but also sometimes we're jealous and petty and angry, and all these things are part of who we are. And so I spend a lot of time thinking about that space. And I guess it comes down, for me particularly, is forgiving or having grace with me in that space, because I can't deny that that's who I am, because there it is. But at the same time, hating it doesn't solve it either.
No.
Right?
Well, I think the place that we can really appreciate is we created those spaces inside of ourselves to keep us safe from the monsters outside of us.
Whatever that is.
Yeah. Yeah. And so it could be like, I had a very critical father. My dad was an amazing dude, and he was very critical with me. And so I became a people pleaser.
Oh, yeah.
When I was a kid, so that I'd never rock the boat. I would never piss off dad. But it didn't matter what I did, he would still get pissed off, right? So I developed this persona, and then, 50 years later, you're like,
who am I?
Why does my life suck like this? Oh, it's because I'm living for everybody else and being the dancing monkey for everybody else. Well, I don't want to be a dancing monkey anymore. So for me, it's worth looking in the mirror, uncovering, looking at the pain, looking at the part of me that hurts, and being willing to feel and be present with that. A few times, a handful of times, or maybe an ongoing spell, rather than being the dancing monkey for the rest of my life.
Couldn't you say, though, and I'm this is very personal for me, because you're speaking to my wound.
Yeah.
But in my soul, learning that I don't want to be the dancing monkey anymore. Some of the things that I do, serving others and creating this nonprofit, for example, was in an effort to become worthy.
Yeah.
But that's not bad. It's not a bad thing, but you have to shift. Why am I doing this? Why is this important? Why does it matter? Or why can I keep doing it?
Yeah.
Rather than I'm doing it now for significance and for love, maybe I'm doing it now because it feels great and it makes me happy.
Yeah.
And so it doesn't have to be so subtle as I'm not doing that ever again.
Right.
But it's about getting clear about why I'm doing it.
Yeah. I mean, it's, if you realize that you're a dancing monkey at your job and that's how you're feeding your family, you don't want to run out and quit tomorrow.
Yeah, dance, monkey.
Right.
Yeah.
So we could still do it. But I think you're right on the money about finding where the authenticity is in that. And the more that you can resolve that shadow that was having you show up to be significant and get love and be somebody and all that kind of stuff, the more that you can resolve that, the more that you'll find the love in that, right? Because it is amazing to be able to serve and it feels good. But if we're spending all of our energy on that and doing that service just so that we can feel significant, it's no different than me showing up to get your business, telling you what you want to hear, but you find out it's all about business.
Oh, yeah.
It's a very similar concept.
It really is. And it's unsustainable.
Yeah, totally.
Like, you can't.
It's friggin' exhausting.
You can't do that. You just can't keep doing that. I think I came to that space, and I come to it again and again because I am so programmed for that type of thinking and belief that I have to come to it over and over again to realize that I'm in this space. Yeah. Because I want to be in this space and because of the good things that come from it. And I don't have to continually remind myself that it's necessary, that I need to be doing it, but I have to remind myself it's not about that. It's about this over here. And when I do that, then it's interesting because all the windows and doors open, all the opportunity starts to show up.
Yeah.
And if I could tell you the times that it's gone sideways is when I get into that other space, when it's the Rob show.
Yeah. And that's great. It's like, the mirror. Right.
Right.
And especially because it's your business, it's certainly a reflection of you. It always goes up to the top. Whoever's running things, it is a direct reflection of you.
Of who they are.
Yeah. And so that's always a great indicator of when you might want to push in the clutch, take a breath, see what's happening.
Can I tell you, I love this, by the way. In this space, I went from the belief that I was helping families fight food insecurity because that was something that I had in my life.
Yeah.
And there's no reason anyone should be hungry in Utah. I mean, we're a chubby crowd. There's enough to go around. Am I right?
Absolutely.
But that's not what it was. It occurred to me, and this happened right after my motorcycle accident. So this is new learning for me, is that that's not what I'm doing it for. I'm doing it because I enjoy creating a space to facilitate other people's service.
Yeah.
Because then there's more than just a one reaction. There's the receiver and the giver and all of these people, and it's the facilitating is the magic for me. And when I realized that last year's Thanksgiving's Heroes was the best I've ever had in the 11 years that I've done it. This is our 12th year now.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But it was an interesting thing. And so I think that the work that you're talking about is not just interesting, but it's necessary.
Yeah.
And every man needs to take it to a point, because they're going to come to that midlife crisis. I'm air quoting now, but the crisis is a continuing crisis of, why am I doing this again? Is this what it's all about? I've worked hard my whole life, and here I sit with this woman who I don't know in a home that I never really wanted. Or you get what I mean? Like, you start really asking yourself these questions, and the sooner that you can do it, it's not a crisis. It's a wonderful birth into what God made you for. Why?
Yeah.
What am I here to do?
Mm-hmm.
Is that, am I on the right track here?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, and the truth is, Rob, we're all on the right track.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Every single one of us, right? We get what we get in due time.
Yeah.
I met with my mentor this morning, and we had conversation about something we had talked about a year ago. And she's like, yeah, we talked about it. You just couldn't hear it. You weren't ready. So, and that's okay.
Bob could write that book.
Seriously. That's gonna be called All the Times I'm Not Listening.
Yeah.
Thanks, Toph.
Yeah, no problem.
So it's not even that I wasn't listening. It's just in my current frame of mind, I couldn't get it.
Yeah.
At that level. Right now, today I was like, oh man, that almost hurts.
Yeah.
But I'm so grateful to uncover that. Right. And so it's like, Einstein said we can't correct the problem from the same energy in which it was created, something like that, right? And I believe we live in a matrix, and I call it the matrix because we are so programmed. We think we're free, but we're a slave. We have the golden handcuffs on to our programs, our conditioning, right? And so we have all of these identities that we carry around, and the real work is resolving enough of the shadow that you can shift your identity. Because it doesn't matter how many times you get a coach that says, make this many calls and I'm holding you accountable, and do this and do this and do this. At some point you will sabotage that, because that's not the real you. If you have to have a coach to get there, you're doing what Einstein said doesn't work. Right? Because you're still the same energy, and you can increase and you can make improvement. But until you believe that that's who you are, you have an identity around that, an identity shift, you'll probably never really excel beyond what that limit is.
That is the truth. When I have new agents come into real estate, I have them pretend, I'd like you just to behave. Just today. For the next 8 hours, I'd like you to behave like a successful real estate agent.
Yeah.
And then I have them define what that means.
Mm-hmm.
And it's interesting how they'll sit up a little bit differently, how they speak on the phone, how they resolve objections, how they dress, and all these different things. And I don't expect people to be Rob the realtor all the time. You know, that's a part that I'm playing to be successful, that dancing monkey that we talked about.
Yeah.
But I can do that for the period of time that's necessary. And unless I believe it, then it reflects directly upon my business.
Mm-hmm.
Or my physical health. Like, does a physically healthy man my age eat that much cake?
But does he?
Sometimes.
Yeah. Well,
once in a while.
I can relate to that.
Yeah, but you get what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
if I believe that I'm physically healthy, and that then I probably will go to the gym, or I probably will cut back on my cigarettes, or whatever the thing is, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it comes to that, the first thing is believing it.
Yeah.
What would you say is the core or the spark in that process to start the belief?
We have to want it.
What do you really want?
Yeah.
Because that's all you're ever going to get.
Yeah. Because like, cigarettes, if somebody knows they should quit, but they don't want to quit,
They won't quit.
odds are they'll never quit.
Yeah.
Alcoholic, same thing. Drug addict, same thing. right? We have to want it. And, you know, everybody talks about the rock bottom, and sometimes it takes that. You get your ass kicked in a way that's like, yeah, I have to do something different.
Yeah.
And then to carry us through, I think our why, right? That's when the why becomes relevant, because the want, the desire can be fleeting, especially when things get tough. But if we have that wired up to the why, then that can help carry us through.
I had a hard time with, I started following the Stoics for a period of time. And this is the core belief of a Stoic, is that you have in your life the things that you want. So you should appreciate those things, and then your life becomes immensely better.
Yeah.
But the accepting of that responsibility, that was really very hard for me, because that victim mindset is such a nice little exit from.
It's a very good fitting shirt, if you will.
Yeah. It's
Right?
easy. It's easy to be like, well, it's my parents' fault, or it's Topher's fault that the thing didn't work out. No.
Yeah.
It's I have a part to play in this, and then owning that part. Interesting.
Yeah. One of my mentors always says, do you know how to know exactly what your intentions are? Look at your life.
Huh. Yeah. Because
It's exactly like you intend it to be.
Yeah. Tony Robbins talks about you can see what people believe just by how they look. Just like you can look at someone and you can believe that person thinks he's healthy. That person believes that he's a healthy person.
Yeah.
Because of how he looks.
Because
he is, you know, and it's an interesting, the egg before the chicken kind of a concept, you know, when you talk about the results and the you know, believe it, feel it, act it, results, believe it, act, you know, the square. It's a weird, where do you get on? Where do I get onto that ride? Because it's going pretty quick, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. So it certainly serves to take inventory of who we are and where we want to go.
Yeah.
And be willing to pull back the cover and look and see why we haven't gone there yet. You know, what's in the way? What's the fear? Because most of the reasons that we don't show up inside of whatever we thought we wanted is because we're afraid of something. And one thing that I'm discovering more and more, people can be afraid of failure, but I think they're more afraid to be seen. Us humans have a hard time truly being seen, because we're like, if I show them all of me, they probably won't love me.
Damn. I have to noodle on that. That's wildly true.
And here's where failure plays into this is, can I truly be seen 100% while I am failing? Or is my pride or my dancing monkey going to show up and I'll hide it from people so that they don't really see my failure?
Well, it comes down to feeling safe, doesn't it then? Because if I don't feel safe enough to, you know, to pull back the kimono, as they say, then I won't. Yeah. And that's really where it is in safety. And so creating safety, it really is a conditioning. Like you have to be brave enough to fail a little bit. And then, okay, well that didn't work. So then let's try this, and continually putting yourself out there. I don't think that we're made to do that anymore. It seems to me like people have an attitude that if babies had this attitude, no one would walk, because we would fall down a couple times and we would give up on it. There's just people. It feels to me like we're in a quitting society, quitting on our relationships, quitting on our fitness, quitting on our goals.
I call it the swipe right culture, because it's not just in dating, it's in pretty much everything.
Just moving on. Huh? And I think that's where fulfillment is found, is in sticking with it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like you go to the gym one time and you don't see results. Well, that's not how it works.
We don't just shower once.
No.
Hopefully. Well,
a couple times a day for this kid.
Yeah, that is true. I'm going to shower when I get home.
I ate once.
Yeah. Should be good.
Yeah.
Interesting. It's interesting. This is, this life, in my perspective, the minute I take my focus off of something, then it diminishes, you know, as they say, where your focus go, or your energy goes, your focus flows, or however
where your attention goes, your energy flows.
There it is.
Yeah.
And so I feel as though, and it's exhausting trying to keep all these balls in the air, you know, the family man and the businessman and the philanthropist and all of these different characters that I am playing. Because as soon as I take my focus off of that, it diminishes. And so how do you create balance in that space?
Well, I think we have to find our own authenticity in how and why we're showing up inside of those things, and make sure that our come from is a come from that is loving, of service, and also raw and authentic for us. So if it's like, if there's a part of where you are like, I got to take care of the kids again or whatever, well, yeah, but we chose that in our life, right? But if we can find the space where it's like, oh man, I love changing the diapers, right? If we can get to a place like that, I think because when we can come from that loving, authentic, raw place where we do just absolutely love, it becomes the lack of trying. We don't try anymore. And there are many places in our life where we're trying to be something, we're trying to accomplish something, we're trying, and we all know that that's pushing the rock up the hill. Right. And so if we can find authenticity and shift our perception around that into a place of love and service, I mean, you're better at shifting into service more than just about anybody I know.
Oh, thank you.
Right. I mean, your whole life reflects that. I mean, that's where most of your conversations go. You're masterful at being in service. And so, and I'm sure there are times that you have to show up when you're just not feeling like it.
Every day.
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah.
A lot. You have to be very intentional about creating that, how you show up.
Yeah. And so if you can shift into a place of like, you know, maybe you have some epic memories of just a few things that really stood out and how that made you feel like there's this one family that's like, oh man, where you can put that at the forefront of your journey, being like, that's always where I'm leading, is from the feeling that I had from that family.
Yeah. That's good. Yeah, I think that has sustained me. It has to be meaningful. Your why has to be noisy everywhere you look, right? Because it's so easy to take your eyes away from that. And thank you for that compliment.
Yeah.
I was raised in an environment of service, and I became addicted to, and I call it selfish. It's not selfish, but there's no better feeling. If you're in a bad place, if you're sad or depressed or low energy, just serving someone for just a second, a phone call, a text, anything at all is like the best drug in the world, because all of a sudden you feel great, you know, and you've done something to make someone else's day better. And all of a sudden you just feel like, okay, like this, my existence isn't so bad. It's wonderful, actually. Yeah. And it's just this weird, that's the only thing I know of, you know, and I guess that's love. It's the only thing I know that I can give and give and give. And I'm never like, I have a surplus of it. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
And so that's just my insane brain.
I love that. I also think service is like a great way to shift your state.
Yeah.
Right. And if you think about it, when we are not feeling good, we are normally covertly narcissistic.
Yeah.
Because all we can think about is ourselves.
Me.
In that moment, right? How much we're suffering, or how shitty we feel, or I don't have that, or that person doesn't like me.
My motorcycle could be better. It's always a thing, right?
And so when we can shift out of that and put our time and energy and efforts into another person, it can give us some reprieve from that narcissistic thinking. And we all do it. Every single person has some narcissistic qualities.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I think being conscious of it is a big deal, though. I think that's where growth starts to happen, where it comes in, you're like, And I guess that comes into feeling your body and feeling, how do I feel right now? Why do I feel that way? Where did it come from?
Yeah.
Look at that loop. Look at, you brought us right around, Morris.
If I could encourage you guys to, and in fact, if you have a moment, let's try this. I encourage you to feel this with me and show what a shift you can have in your state by trying this.
Let's go.
Okay. So what's a word in each of your space that really lights you up? What's a word that represents confident, powerful, amazing? So pick a word. You don't have to tell me.
Okay. Got it.
Okay. Now, close your eyes and put your hand on your heart. Well, up above your heart, the spark area where your thymus is. Okay. Close your eyes and then see this light inside of your body, right underneath your hand. And then also take your attention and your awareness inside there. Don't be seeing it. Now that the light's there, feel from the inside of your body that light. And then start to notice that that light is expanding. And we don't see it expanding, we feel it expanding, and we start feeling it going up through the top of our shoulders and up our neck and into our head. And just notice what you're feeling inside of there. If you're feeling any tension in your jaw, your head. And then as you're just noticing, don't try and do anything with it. Just notice and then bring that light, let it expand and keep expanding. So it's filling all of your abdomen. It's going down your legs, clear down to your feet, and just feel inside of your body, not outside, inside. Just feel that. And just notice any tension or anything like that that's happening in your body. Okay, now that you have your whole body full of light, now bring that word in, but not just the word, but the feeling. How does that word make you feel? And first bring it in this spot where your hand is and pull it into your body and feel that inside of your body and let it expand and let it expand and let it expand until it is consuming your whole body. The feeling of what that word gives you, the power, the confidence, the love, the presence. And just feel that clear through your whole body, down to your tip of your toes, top of your head, through your fingers. And try and think of any problems in your world from this place. They're pretty non-existent when you're this present in your body. It's hard to be upset. It's hard to be anything but just present and being the amazing human being that you are.
Dang, that was good.
That's a nice shift in the body, right? A shift in the state. So you can do that anytime you want.
Yeah.
Anytime you're feeling bad.
I love that. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
I wrote mine down. I'm going to journal on that. I got my don't look. I see you just looking over here. Well, Morris, wonderful visit. Grateful for your time today with us. As you are looking at the direction that you're going with your coaching, and this is an important question I'm really very curious about, is where do you see yourself in this space in the next 2 or 3 years?
Yeah, thank you for asking that. I'm now going to start taking on one-on-one clients and working with men one-on-one. And also within the next month-ish, I will be working on creating digital products that will help with basics and also getting pretty deep into the space of transformation. And so I want to be able to share my products with anybody that has an interest in learning more about that. And as I expand that, I want to be working from the beaches of the world. And so that I can be anywhere in the world and I can speak in those countries or put on digital events or whatever. I just want to be wherever I want to be and still be able to be of service however I can.
Man, what a beautiful vision that is. That's amazing. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming on the podcast.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thank you for asking me.
You're
Gopher, it was great hanging out with you today.
Thanks, man. I appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, thank you.
All right.
You guys know the drill. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next one.